What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode number 56 now of the Leeds United career mode. We are obviously in the January transfer window, so we're looking at adding a few additions to our squad, whether that will be pre-contracts or actual signings in the window. We have to wait and see. One of the players that you guys suggested was Leon Bailey from Genk, so I inquired about him. Another one of the players you suggested was Onunas, is how you call him? I don't know exactly what his name is. So we inquired about both those guys and we'll see what their teams say. But another one I was actually interested as well, which someone else mentioned, was Kelechi Iheanacho from obviously Manchester City. We may struggle to get the Man City player though, however, because obviously Man City aren't going to want to let him go. He's a quality forward. And as you can see, the league table going into today's episode, we are sat top. 18 games played, 13 wins and 5 defeats in our 18 games, with obviously 0 lost. We are still unbeaten in the Premier League, and for the first game of the episode we take on West Brom, who are actually sat down in 18th place. So if we actually lose our unbeaten streak to the final team that we have to play in the Premier League season, well, at least once, because obviously West Brom are the only side we haven't played in the Premier League as of yet, then I would be very, very disappointed with myself, because in all honesty, West Brom struggling, they should not be able to beat me here at Ellen Road, especially with the side that I will name. I actually didn't realise as well going into this that we actually had a game against Manchester United literally 2 days after this. So I actually named my strongest possible side here going into this one against West Brom, and I was actually pretty disappointed in myself, because if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have played my strongest side here against West Brom, and I'd have saved it for that trip to Old Trafford. So I have to say, I was looking into this game thinking I've got to, it should be a comfortable victory for myself. But every time I say that against, lesser talented teams, let's call them, no disrespect to West Brom, I think they are a quality side and they can cause upsets. I just felt as though we should be able to comfortably beat them here, especially at home with the side that I named. You can see the league table yet again. Chelsea and Man City actually struggling at the moment, down in 8th and 9th place respectively. So bit of a weird season to kick this season off, in all honesty, and we're halfway through now once we complete this game against West Brom. So we'll have a better understanding of where we're looking at people finishing and stuff like that. So I have to say, I'm looking at it thinking, if we can go and win the title, that'll be brilliant. But if we go and beat them, man, that'll be absolutely mental. So going into this, you can see the team that we have named on your screen. It's a pretty strong team, in all honesty. Like I said, it's my strongest lineup, and I wish I didn't actually use it here. I think we named actually, I think Sacco played out on the right. I'm pretty sure, but I'm 100% certain that it was Sacco and not Joel Green in the game, but I could be actually wrong. You can see the West Brom lineup, obviously it's a strong team as well for themselves. They actually have Pele in their side, which is not the obvious, it's not really Pele, but there is a player called Pele in which West Brom do have in their team today. Referee on the day, Anthony Taylor, about to get the game underway, and I don't actually know why I paused it there, but for whatever reason it was paused. But anyways, the first chance of the game did fall our way pretty much straight from kickoff, as Sacco down the right-hand side gives it off to Miguel, who made the run for him on this right-hand side of the pitch. Miguel goes back inside to Sacco, Sacco now to Ericsson. And honestly, guys, I've spoke about this numerous times in this career mode so far. When you have a player of Christian Eriksen's quality who is on the edge of the box, if you're not shooting with Ericsson, there's something seriously wrong. And this is why I absolutely love this guy. Wonderfully hit effort into the bottom corner of the goal. Literally, guys, if you've got Ericsson or someone of his quality in your career mode team, make sure that if you've got that ball in the edge of the area, do not look for a pass, just smash it with Ericsson. He has such a quality strike on him, and that is exactly what he did there to make the score 1-0. You can see the effort from him right into that bottom corner. The keeper stood no chance, and within literally 4 minutes of the game, we were leading here at Ellen Road against West Brom. So very good start for us, but it got even better inside 6 minutes. As Sacco again involved in this one, down the line again to Miguel. A lot of success coming down this right-hand side. He gives it inside to Emre Moore. Moore now to Den Donker, who gives it all the way up to Origi, but unfortunately I wasn't able to win it. But Remy picks up the pieces for us. Into Ericsson, Ericsson into Moore, Moore back to Ericsson, I do believe. Lovely bit of passing play between the two of them. Ericsson into Remy, and you can see me just trying to work the chance. Eventually I did get the chance. It came to Emre Moore, and with a low-driven shot, Emre Moore makes the score. Leeds United 2, West Bromwich Albion 0, and inside 12 minutes of the game, we were absolutely cruising already here at Ellen Road, and I couldn't quite believe the luck that we were having. Wonderfully worked goal, I have to say. And by the way, that's that low-driven shot in action. I'm getting better at doing them, but I'm still trying to work it out completely and sort of get the whole idea of the low-driven shots, underway and know how to do them. Because they're very OP as well when you actually get used to them. But 44 minutes in, West Brom got themselves back into the game. It was very poor from me, but this was one of those games, that everything fell the way of West Brom. It felt as though the bounces were going to West Brom. They were getting very lucky as Berahino made it 2-1 there just before half-time. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? We were 2-0 up in this game. We cannot possibly lose this from 2-0. If we come back to lose this, I'll be extremely disappointed. It was a lovely finish from Saido Berahino, I have to say as well. Just stroking the ball into the back of the net past an oncoming Bernard Leno. Leno, unfortunately, not able to make the save for us, but I was absolutely gutted with myself. I was thinking, I can't believe I've let that go in the back of the net. We was winning 2-0 at one point. Now it's back to 2-1. But 48 minutes in, Eriksson gives it down the line here to Remy. Remy goes back inside to Eriksson, and this really should have been Leeds United 3, West Brom Champion 1. But unfortunately, it was a good save from the West Brom goalkeeper. I tried to put the pass back in with more, but wasn't able to find a white shirt in the penalty area. And 57 minutes into it, I spoke about West Brom getting a lot of the lucky bounces in this one. You're going to see it again. It just everything just goes the way of West Brom. Leno initially makes a wonderful save there from that chance, but they had another chance not too far later on in the game, 77 minutes now, and I'm thinking at this point, I can't believe what's going on. You can see he was quite poor from me defensively. I don't know what DeSiglio was doing there with that run. Comes to Matt Phillips. His FA saved by Leno. Phillips has another go. I block his shot, and then it falls in the box to someone at the back post. I think it was Semedo all the way up in my box, who makes it Leeds 2, West Brom 2. And at this point, I was absolutely gutted. I was thinking, you've got to be joking me, the fact that ball's fallen to West Brom players that many times. But we did manage to make it 3-2, 34 minutes into it. Eriksson into Moore. Moore sees the run being made of Loic Remy as he plays the over-the-top through ball into the path of Remy. And Neom just not quite good enough to make the tackle on Remy. I was thinking, please finish this. And he does, in fact, finish it. Bottom corner, lovely finish from Loic Remy to make it Leeds United 3, West Bromwich Albion 2. Absolutely crazy game here at Ellen Road, and I loved playing it, but I have to say I was very, very frustrated with the goals we conceded on the day. They weren't, West Brom breaking me down with top quality passing and stuff like that. It was literally 2 mistakes from me, or rather the game being a bit sort of unlucky for me with the bounces going the way of West Brom, and it ended up in the back of the net twice, so I couldn't quite believe the 2 goals that they scored. But I did say to you guys as well, I did feel as though if we got anything less than a victory here, I'd have been a bit disappointed, and that's exactly the way the game would end, because 88 minutes in, you're going to see, and another thing I've spoken numerous times about in this career mode so far, is the fact that you give away penalties very, very easily inside the box. You'll see here, West Brom, this is the first chance, or this is the first time I felt as though they really deserved to get something out of this opportunity there. Lovely passive move from them, and they actually got themselves into a position. I do not know what Miguel was thinking trying to dive in like that. I have no idea what on earth that attempt of a tackle was from Miguel, but in the end, it in fact is a poor challenge from our man, and in the end gives away a penalty kick. Chadley steps up and just honestly sends me the wrong way. I have no words. This is a wonderful penalty from Chadley. However, to draw this game 3 goals apiece here, the only goal that I felt West Brom deserved to actually get on the score sheet was that one there, because the other 2 was either me getting very unlucky or my defence being poor, because the first one, DeSiglio should win the header, and if he does win that header, they don't get the chance. The second one was obviously me blocking 2 strikes, or rather Leno making a save, then me blocking the second strike from Matt Phillips, and then it falls to Semedo in the box. So I have to say, I am utterly disappointed to only get a draw. The only bright spark about that was that, in fact, we are still unbeaten. That's the only thing I can take out of that game and say, you know what, I'm happy with the result because we are unbeaten still. That's the only thing I can say. Other than that, I am thoroughly disappointed with how we played there against West Brom, and I felt as though we deserved something more out of that game. We didn't get it, and in all honesty, credit to West Brom. They dug deep, and they got themselves a point, and they needed that point as well if they had sat 3rd from bottom in the Premier League this season. You guys suggested that I try and sign Leon Bailey. There you go. They came back after we inquired about him and said they wanted 29 million. That's an absolute crazy fee to play for someone that's actually probably about 78 overall. That's just mental. Feels as though Genk right now are wanting some absolutely insane fees. I mean, you looked at Moses Simon. I actually tried to sign him, I do believe, earlier on in the season. They said something like 29 million for him as well. So it's just mental. And, these players aren't high-quality, top-class players. These are players that would be only second-choice players in my team. So I just didn't want to sign them on the basis that they would be a backup player. Not going to happen. There's no way I'm paying £29 million for someone who's going to sit on the bench and occasionally play the odd game in the Premier League. That's just something that I'm not willing to do. I'd much rather spend my money on pre-contracts for players that I know are actually going to try and get into the side next season. So at the minute, if they do in fact want that full 29 million, we will not be signing Bailey. I did offer them another deal. I think I offered them Kamaru and 11 million in the end for Bailey. To see what they said to that one. I also offered for, is it Osuna? I offered him a deal, or rather offered, I do believe, who does he play for? Is it Bordeaux? I offered them an actual transfer offer again for that young man to see if he could, in fact, come into the club and be a player for us. But I'm going to say right now, I'm not expecting us to sign either of those guys, because right now, Bailey seems to be that they just want a little bit too much in terms of transfer value, because like I said, I'm not prepared to pay 29 million for someone who is in fact going to sit on the bench, so there's that. But on top of that, Osuna, or however you say his name, he's going to be one of those guys that I don't know if I want to sign him. And I can't actually scout him and see what his overall is right now because we're going to run out of the transfer window time. So it's either I take a risk on him and try and sign him, or I just leave it and then wait until next season and see what he actually overall is. Because at the minute he could very well be like a 74 overall, 76 overall player. And if you're paying something like ridiculous for a player of that quality and who's probably not going to get in the side next season, when obviously we do in fact get ourselves hopefully Champions League football here at Ellen Road, it's going to be a bit of an annoyance if we do in fact pay that much money. So at the moment, my mindset at the minute is just to try and get myself some pre-contract signings ahead of next season and try and get us some better positions in terms of like squad depth. And if we can do that going into next season, with the fact we'll have the Champions League football here, we do need squad depth. We need players that can come into the team and won't look out of place. That's what I'm aiming to do here. And the two centre-backs that we have on the backup as well are two cup centre-backs in Reece Oxford and Vergara. I have to say right now, probably next season, only one of them will stay in this side in terms of our... Obviously, they may play it in cup games and stuff like that. But when we hit the Champions League football, if we do in fact do that, hopefully, then I have to say they probably won't be featuring all that much for us. But the first chance in this one, as we did travel over to Old Trafford to take on Mourinho's men, who coincidentally, Arsenal are actually playing right now as I'm recording this. And being an Arsenal fan, the score is 0-0 at half-time, so hopefully we don't end up losing the second half, because right now Man United have been the better side in the game. So anyways, in FIFA we did take them on, and honestly this game was completely and utterly all Manchester United, much like it is in real life right now. But a very good block there from Joe Gomez kept the score at 0-0 as United had a couple of chances in this one. I think Pogba gets a header here. Oh no, it wasn't actually Pogba, it was Eric Bailly, I think. In the end, sends his header wide of the post. But we had our first chance of the game literally 76 minutes in, and this is why I need another left midfielder. This is why I then swung my decision to probably get one of the two out of those left midfielders. Iwobi gets into an advanced position. The least he's got to do is hit the target there. That's all I ask of him. Not put the ball in the back of the net, just hit the target, and he wasn't able to even do that. So I do definitely need to sign myself a left midfielder. But you're going to see something interesting coming up in just a second in this one. You can see as well that was a very boring game to play at Old Trafford, but regardless of that, we're still unbeaten, and we beat them once and drawn with them once this season. So we've unbeaten against Manchester United as well, which is a very good thing to see. As a Leeds United boss, that would obviously win the fans over, even if I hadn't have done that already. You know, we're sat top of the Premier League title, the table. They can't, not say that I'm doing a good job here at least. If they did, I'd be utterly frustrated with them. But you can see it's just not going to happen, guys. Even with Kamaru as part of the deal, they want £26.8 million. And even if I swapped over their wage budget, I still don't think we'd have enough to be able to sign him into this club. So you can see me here offering Lewis Baker a pre-contract agreement, one of the players that's been sat on our shortlist for a while. I did say that we were, in fact, going to try and sign him at the in the January transfer window. This was back in the summer window. I said I wanted him on a pre-contract. He's got like a 5-star weak foot. He's got very good all-round stats as well. So he's one of the players I'm looking at bringing into the club come the start of next season, come the end of this one. So Bailey, just not going to happen, guys. I'm sorry. Maybe in another career mode somewhere down the line we'll try and get him, but this one, at the moment, it just will not happen. You can see here as well, I spoke to you guys about a right-back that I needed. A few of you guys suggested very good right-backs as well. But then I came across this guy, Ricardo Pereira, I think he's how you say his name. The FC Porto right-back. Looks to be a very, very good player. And we did, in fact, offer him a contract to come over and play his football here at Ellen Road. And one of the left midfielders that we were looking at was Adnan Januzaj. The Manchester United man was so very good a few seasons ago. I don't quite rate him in terms of real life now. He's at Sunderland under David Moyes. Have to say, though, in terms of FIFA, I would say he's slightly better than Alex Iwobi in terms of FIFA. Not in real life, I still rate Iwobi over him, but I guess that's a bit of Arsenal bias coming through. But we could possibly get the Manchester United man over from Manchester United and Old Trafford, which I could guess would be a very, very interesting one. Because if he does, in fact, come over to Ellen Road and then takes on Manchester United next season and has an absolute stormer for us, that would be very, very good to see. You can see here as well, I offer a contract to Salman Rondon. Probably not going to get him into the team. We already have a number of attackers here. But one that you guys suggested numerous times throughout this series was, in fact, Anthony Martial. And he is available on a pre-contract. So you guessed it, I was going to offer them 150. I was like, yes, man, I want Martial to come over here and play his football at Ellen Road. Ditch the Old Trafford crowd, ditch the Man United crowd. Come over here, take on Manchester United next season for us. 87 rated Anthony Martial, someone we nearly tried to sign with actual money. Looks like he could possibly be coming in on a pre-contract agreement. Hector Bellerin was another player as well that I looked at, but I didn't quite want to sign him. I was thinking to myself, if Pereira accepts his deal, for the sake of the series, I felt as though Bellerin would be sort of a little bit too good. Well, not too good, but it's very unlikely that Bellerin would come to somebody like Leeds. Saying that, Martial would never come to someone like Leeds. So what the hell am I talking about? But I just felt as though I wanted Pereira instead of Bellerin because I've never used Pereira before, and I felt as though it would make the series a bit more interesting him over Bellerin. You can see as well, number of deals still coming through. Suso was another one that you guys suggested. So again, looking at him and his signature over to Ellen Road. We've got a number of players that we're looking at trying to bring into the team in terms of pre-contracts. I said to you guys, it's going to be one of those episodes where I just try and bring in a load of players on pre-contracts. Ross Barkley as well, 87 rated English midfielder. I was looking at him and I was thinking he's in bad form, but we could in fact get him over to Ellen Road and see what he can do here for us. He won't get in the side ahead of Eriksen though, because Eriksen is just too damn good. But you can see, guys, Anthony Martial is now a Leeds United player from the end of this season. Buzzing about that transfer. I hope you guys have, I hope you guys enjoy that as well, because you guys wanted me to sign him a few episodes ago. Couldn't, unfortunately, do it because we didn't have enough in the transfer budget, but we've managed to do it here on a pre-contract, and it does mean next season we have an 87 rated striker coming into the team, because I will not play him as a left midfielder. He'll come in and be a forward for the club. You can see as well, Ronaldo Vieira obviously said he wanted to leave the team a few episodes ago, so we did in fact get an offer for him. I think I counter offer here for 5.4 million to QPR, and they do in fact match it in the next episode. You'll see that episode coming up though tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this one of Career Mode. If you have, smash that like button. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe if you never want to miss an upload. I've been Danny, and I'm out. Adios.